Hi, my fellow Scriabinoids. Today we're tackling Scriabin Sonata number 8. This is part of the Scriabin Sonatas lesson series that I'm very happy to offer. And this is a short version of the lesson. The full version is available for purchase. The link is down below in the description. Please check it out if you're interested in learning more, in taking the full lesson. There is a discount available if you are buying within the first week of the release of this video, as well as there is a discount in case you are buying a bundle of 5 sonatas at the same time. It's my personal intake with a lot of impressions, information, associations, and explanations of my personal interpretational decisions, something I have accumulated over the years of working on this piece. And I hope that it's going to be helpful in your exploration of Scriabin's works. So some of it might be unconventional, some of it you might have read or would be probably reading in certain sources, and something else might be so personal that perhaps nobody has ever said this before or would have ever said to you before. So I'm happy to share what I have come up with and what works for me in interpreting, in playing, performing, recording this sonata, as well as the other sonatas. If you are purchasing the lesson, I'm happy to offer an annotated PDF of a public domain. I myself prefer Berenreiter or Jurgensen. I work currently with Jurgensen, but that is a score I of course cannot share publicly, so you can go ahead and get it for yourself from the publishers themselves. But I'm happy to provide you a PDF of the public domain with my personal annotations. So things I'm mentioning during the lesson should be there. And you can, of course, orient yourself by navigating through the videos and the score at the same time. If you are working on this piece, I hope that will be of help. So the sonata number 8 is centered around the key of A. We're not going to say it is written in the key of A because we are in the late opuses and we have departed tonal music during the late time period of Scriabin's legacy. He has not been writing tonal music after pretty much the middle time period. So we can say the tonal center is A, and this sonata is exactly in the center between the two first sonatas out of the late ones, so between numbers 6 and 7, and apparently between numbers 9 and 10, although sources say that this sonata was written as the last one, but he published it earlier. So like in the chronological order, perhaps that would be the last one, but we have it as number 8 out of 10. So let's consider it maybe in the order it was published, because that's how the numbers go. And it makes sense for me. Currently, you will understand why. So if we're going to look at numbers 6 and 9, they are usually regarded as darker sonatas. They have a darker plot, and the semantic meaning is, towards the mysterious evil forces, and that's what Scriabin said himself. Numbers 7 and 10 are on the other side of the spectrum. They are considered light, they are considered radiant, and for me number 7 is a counter force. That's something that pulls you up after encountering the dark, mysterious forces of number 6, let's say. Same with number 10. That comes after number 9, and it is a salvation of some sort, perhaps. However, the number 8 is something like a middle ground, but it, for me personally, it does not stand on earth with both feet. It's not grounded, it's not planet. For me, it's like slightly above the earth. So you feel that ethereality, you feel that it's kind of weightless, but it's not high up all the way. maybe for the most part, but it's definitely not heavy in a way like the sixth one is heavy, for example. While the other late sonatas are considered either light or dark, this one doesn't really belong to this classification, I would say. It is about something else. For me personally, it is about some inner search, some introspection, discovering something about oneself through this work, and maybe looking into your own self. I don't know if this would be the same way for you, but that inspires some of my interpretational decisions. And of course, I will be explaining this more in detail, why I make certain decisions and what technical devices or what, I don't know, pedaling devices, pedaling, the ways of pedaling, or certain dynamic decision, balance decisions on the piano and color and tone, why I use certain approaches and not other approaches. Again, this is very personal. It's what works for me. So if you're still with me, let's tackle the main themes. So we have very few character indications here as opposed to the numbers 6 and 7, for example, or number 10. And Scriabin said that it's his most tragic sonata. Tragic doesn't mean dark in the sense of dark evil forces. So a side note, tragic. Tragic is more of an introspective feeling, I would say. And we do have a tragique motif, so a tragic motif. There are a lot of reminiscences to the Sonata number 5. We are going to look at a couple of places, and I will refer to the Sonata number 5 in the process. So we have our first opening motif of the introduction. This sonata has an introduction. Number 6 and 7 didn't. This one does, as well as the number 10. So if you are looking at number 8, it doesn't start immediately from the Expo. We do have a slow part, lento, so very slow here. And the first motif is so that's what we have as the first thing written. Actually, please note that we start with a cross motif. If you're into Bach, you would know. So we have this one. I would actually call it a cross motif. We do have the flight. And Scriabin uses the motif of flight in various ways in his late works. You might know that. And then we have that is our tragic theme that comes as a second theme later. But in the intro, we have the themes, most of them represented. We have the summon. So pointing upwards, kind of waving to come. So maybe that's some sort of a mysterious force. Maybe that's part of yourself that is leading you somewhere. And this summon is then developed into the main theme later on. So twice, and then so maybe it has succeeded and it has led you somewhere because it is developing, right? We do have the tragique, the second theme. We have discussed that already. Then we have the bridge. So jumping chords that are actually breathtaking or running out of breath. It says haletant in French, which means breathtaking. We have the diad motif. So there are two voices. It's a passage that is running down all the time from different keys. And it comes together with the summons motif. So something that is going upwards and something that is going downwards in response. Welcome to the exposition. The summons and then the dyads. Pianissimo, very mysterious. Change. So breathe between the summons and the dyad, because otherwise they're going to be blended into one, but I think those are two different gestures. And after all, nothing is held from that long summon chord, and then we have rests, so I think it has to be a new pedal here. Okay, let's talk about this stuff. This is very interesting. Some people play it with both hands, probably like this. I don't. I play it with one hand. It required practice, and it depends on the piano also whether it's going to work easily or not so easily. And it depends on the layout, depending from which two notes I'm starting, because this dyad theme is being repeated many times. So I go 3, 5, 2, 4, 1, 3, then I slide with my thumb and I go 1, 2, then I go 2, 4, 1, 3, 3, 5. So 3, 5, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3. Again, slowly. When you practice this slide and use your wrist. Use your wrist to lead the hand. And also make sure you go underneath the keyboard with your thumb like this. So bend your thumb to transfer your hand to the next position. And then phrase it. Because you do have the repeated F here. Don't get stuck on that F with your third finger if you're using the fingering. I'm suggesting, of course, think this da 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 in the melody rather than. So leave it. So think this. And then the second one. Next one. So don't try to really connect the F, because it might not work on every piano. That depends. So go from here. Really think in two segments, but then unite them in your head when you are ready, and your hand will follow. I'm not going to explain this for every single run, because we have tons of these runs of the dyad motifs in the 8th sonata. But that's the main principle. So I'm not going to be concentrating on it every single time, because we are going to spend probably 20 hours in this lesson if I really dissect every single one. So that is the main way to do it. Let's go again from the beginning of the exposition. Measure 21. Of course, I flip with my left hand. I go 5, 2, 1, and then 2, and it has to be very light. See how it's based on the A, the tritone, A, E flat, so that's the main tonal center of the sonata. Rests always there. And then the main theme. So this is very light. Off for the rests. And pay attention to the articulation, non-legato. Of course, it's your choice how much pedal you want to add, how short you want it to be, or how covered with pedal you want it to be, or something like this. note the tenuti that are there. Roll this, so a slight crescendo in measure 27, and then of course back to the piano. Off. Again, off. One more try. Another key now, so he goes again poco crescendo, but no more piano. He's already at the mezzo piano, so that's our next step. So we have a lot of these elements. They are lighting up in the air like fireflies. So that's my visualization of this piano. Everything is very light. The pedal is off when possible, but that it doesn't sound too sudden, too sharp. And of course I switch a lot between the hands because well, it's a triple system mostly in my score at least. So let's look at it. The B goes into the right hand as well as the B flat and the G, and then I pick up from the F sharp for 30. Now pick up from the F sharp with the left hand, lift the pedal. So 1 2 3 1 2 5 off. I mean not off for the right hand. The left hand has the A, but off in between. I break here because I cannot reach. Off. The thumb for the A in the left hand. Off. So the F sharp and the D sharp are picked up by the left hand. Off. So I try to breathe with my pedal. The G, the F sharp and the D sharp are picked up by the left hand. I'm in 440 right now. I take it off and roll because again I can't reach. So with a 3 for the A, piano, accelerando. Now for the with the 2 for the A. It's a standalone one. This one, I don't know why it's so different, but now I use 5, 2, and 1. Forte, and then suddenly piano. Very light on the trills. I use 2 and 3. And then presto. I won't go presto. I will go this play this slowly now. I pick up the C sharp by the right hand, and then I finish this trill. This is a very short trill because it's going to be very fast. I started with 2 and 3, and then I go to 4, 3 somehow eventually, something like this. 4, 3, 1. And I help myself with the G for the right hand in here. Again, the right hand is helping me. Same thing. Now we already had something similar. So going from the pickup to 453. I'm flipping, I'm breaking between both hands because it has to be split. So I'm gonna just do it very slowly to demonstrate. It's probably impossible to explain everything I'm doing here, but just very slowly. changing the pedal on every dotted quarter. So once again, this section. So I take that D in the middle of 454 into the right hand with my 2, and then I go with my thumb to the G. And then, of course, I play the chords, and I have to pick up this descending motif with my left hand. Off. So make sure that the tops are always bright. And you have to aim for that. Here I flip with my left hand on the G with the thumb, and then of course I switch. Again, positions here. Here, this chromatic motif is again played by the left hand, and you, of course, play with the left hand, positioning. Off. So I always flip here and then change to the thumb. Positions for the left hand, same thing as we did before already in a very similar place earlier. So there is nothing particularly new. I don't think I should be re-explaining this again and again. So this place, the pickup to 452, that's probably the only place you have to figure out for yourself how you spread the material between the hands. For example, here in 454, I pick up that C sharp with the right hand. I flip, for example, I reach with the 2, so you have to see what works. I have filmed this very slowly for you so you can see what works for me, but explaining every single thing is going to take a lot of time, so I decided to not do it, but just to demonstrate, and you can create your own version from this if you want. You can, of course, change something and only do whatever works for you. I hope this lesson on the 8th Scriabin Sonata was helpful to you. Please recommend this video to other people to whom it might be relevant. If you know some of these people, feel free to contact me. There is a contact form linked in the description. You can always request a private lesson from me through this contact form. I will get back to you. You can, of course, not only play Scriabin. I would love for you to play Scriabin, but if you would like to play something else, I teach all genres of classical music, so you are more than welcome to contact me for individual lessons. And please subscribe to this channel. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video. Hit the like button if you like this video, hit the dislike button if you dislike this video, go ahead. I would be happy to know your feedback. I will see you in the next one, and I hope that you have learned something in this lesson. Bye. So we have a lot of these elements. They are lighting up in the air like fireflies. That's my visualization. That's my visualization of this.